military morning dawns in Texas. The cadets of the U.S. Air Force and military academies marching in. Hey, the cavalry is here with the game ball, all ready for Air Force and Army in the Commanders Classic. General Douglas MacArthur said, "No man is entitled to the blessings of freedom unless he be vigilant in its preservation." That is everything to the men and women of the U.S. Air Force and military academies. Today, Air Force and Army meet on the field of play. The stakes are high. This matchup is always close.
4th and 3, and it's not gonna get there! My goodness!
4th and goal. Hopkins to throw. End zone incomplete. Not today.
Touchdown Army! Jacoby Buchanan on 4th and goal!
Daniels, time, end zone, broken up! Army has won it! The ultimate prize, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. In Dallas, we have tradition, emotion, rivalry. It's fly, fight, win versus duty, honor, country. It's Air Force. It's Army. The Lockheed Martin Commanders Classic is presented by USAA. Yes, indeed, it's Air Force. And it's Army, Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Aaron Taylor, Sherry Burris will join us shortly. It's a great scene here right now. And, of course, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy is at stake. Air Force, with a win, captures the trophy. Army has to beat Air Force and then beat Navy in December. And it's really hard to overstate just how important that piece of hardware is to the academies.
Buddy. Not all games are created equally, and that is certainly the case for the academies in this game today. Each of them telling me that this is like their Super Bowl. And for what it's worth, my opinion, this is the purest form of football that we have on the collegiate level. It's got everything you want. Rivalry, pageantry, history, tradition. This game has it all, and it's an honor to cover it.
Also has the 2 top running attacks in all of college football. Air Force is #1 in the country. And Brad Roberts is the guy that makes them go. Now, they controlled him, Army did last year.
They certainly did. Held them to under 70 yards and less than 4 yards per carry. But that was an Army defense that gave up 100 less yards per game than the one we're going to see today. So they've got a tall task stopping 20.
Flip side, as Air Force gets ready to go, we await the arrival of both the Falcons and the Black Knights. Army is the first out, and man, are they hot. They've won 2 straight. They've beaten Air Force 2 times in a row. They've captured 3 of the last 4 Commander-in-Chief trophy. And how have they gotten hot? By shuffling their quarterbacks. In fact, we may see 3 different quarterbacks today. Jamel Jones has started the last 2. They've won both those games.
He's certainly made this offense a lot more productive, but Tyre Tyler is still a player that has some gas in the tank. Cade Ballard, a better thrower than these guys. As we see Air Force take the field, this is a game that is going to be exciting and brings all the elements of classic college football.
They expect close to a full house. Half the fans for Air Force, half the fans for Army. Ready to go in the Commanders Classic. Air Force, Army, Falcons, and Black Knights. College football on CBS Sports is sponsored by Lockheed Martin, by today's military, and by USAA. Is Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers Baseball Club. It's a unique setting, and right down in the middle of it is our Sherry Burris. Sherry?
Well, Rich, playing in a ballpark creates unique challenges for Army and Air Force. What other college football game in the country has planes, tanks, and missiles in the outfield and a wall just feet from the end zone? Last year, the Army cadets say this game was the loudest they played in. The roof is shut, so the sound reverberates back down on the field. This week, Army working on nonverbal communication and hand signals, while at Air Force practice, they pumped in extra crowd noise, Rich, to try to prepare for the more than 30,000 people that are in here.
All right, thank you, Sherry. And the crowd going to be half Air Force and half Army, just like at the Joint Forces Camp Aragon. Thank you so much for your service. Enjoy the game, whether it's Air Force or Army you're pulling for. Last year, a thrilling overtime win for Army. Army won the toss. They want their defense on the field first. They will kick off, and Air Force will receive. Ben Jefferson, Amari Terry are deep for Air Force, and Cole Talley has it teed up for Army. Heavy rains and wind yesterday around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Gorgeous this morning. Roof is closed, and away we go. Through the end zone. And let's get going with Air Force's offense. And this guy was brilliant last year on the ground and especially through the air. Haaziq Daniels.
Yeah, it was interesting. Each of these games, Rich, really takes on a life of its own. And in the second half of this contest a season ago, as we saw with the numbers, a Big 12 game broke out. So it's interesting to see what's happened. Daniels has had a rushing touchdown in 2 of the last 3 games. They don't like to run him much, but when they do, he's effective.
Brad Roberts in the backfield. He's listed as a fullback. He's built more like a running back. And Roberts gets stuffed. First carry. Kwabena Bonsu of Army makes the stop. Offensive line is a real good one for Air Force.
Yeah, so keep your eye on Isaac Cochran. He's the only senior up front. This is a unit that last season was a finalist for the coveted Joe Moore Award. They've got some younger players in this year's mix, but man, what can you say about the nation's most productive rush offense? It all starts up front.
2nd down and 10. Daniels to carry it. Looking to cut back. Excuse me, it's Zach Larrier who takes the snap. His carry goes maybe a yard. Ball was on the turf, but they're going to call Larrier down, and this is not what Air Force had in mind to start.
No, Rich, and this is the 2nd year in a row, the 2nd offensive play that the ball comes out. Clearly, Larrier was down there, but ball security been a problem for Air Force so far this season. They have to protect that pigskin today.
3rd down and 8 is not an optimal down for either of these two offenses. Daniels to the air, fires it on the money. Cormier has the catch, has the first down, and he's out of bounds at the 43.
What I love about offensive coordinator Mike Thiessen is he's not afraid to dial it up. Haaziq Daniels was a spread quarterback in college. That is a beautifully, perfectly thrown football. Great route combination to step outside and keep these chains moving. Last year, Rich, Air Force went 3 and out to start the game. They've got a little bit more mojo going here this season.
Larrier is back in, but Daniels is at quarterback. Larrier number 9, right in that left slot spot, and Roberts bursts through close to midfield. He's out to the 48-yard line. Army's given up a lot of yardage on the ground defensively this year.
Yeah, giving up 95 more rush yards per game, but they get Andre Carter back. This is a guy that has next-level NFL talent. He's 6'7", got all the length you want, and also athletic enough to wreak havoc on the edges in the triple option.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5, just shy of midfield. Just underway. Air Force, Army in Arlington, Texas. Daniels on play action. Has time, fires, sideline, just over the outstretched arms of David Cormier. That's the go-to guy ever since Dane Kinnaman went down with a hamstring injury over a month ago. Kinnaman may play, but Larrier already 2 targets.
And what makes this ball be off target is that there was pressure immediately in Haaziq Daniels' face. This ball just a little bit thrown outside the outstretched arms of David Cormier. This brings up a 3rd and medium, and those are the type of shot plays you take in this offense because you're looking at a 3rd and 5, and this is always 4-down territory here in midfield.
Daniels to throw, little flip. It's caught there by Larrier. It looked like he was thinking of throwing it, and he lost the football. Ball's down. Army, well, hold on. One official said ball was out. Other officials said knee was down. And so Air Force is going to hold on to the possession. A look. Yeah, the knee looked like it came down. Elbow hit too.
That was Markel Broughton on the tackle. He was the leading tackler a season ago, made his presence felt just like he did on that last play, and chalk one up in the win column for Army's defense.
Not a 3 and out, but still a stop right at midfield. Cameron Jones for Army lets it roll, and it's inside the 15 and rolls out of bounds right around the 13-yard line. Underway, Army gets their first touch in the Commanders Classic. Next.
I'm United States Army. Go Army. Beat Air Force.
The lines are clearly drawn, aren't they? Air Force and Army. A scoreless start, first touch for Army. Jamel Jones. Now, we told you we might see 3 quarterbacks. We're going to see 2 quarterbacks right away. That's Tyler Tyler, who's going to line up as a slot back with Jones at the quarterback spot for Jeff Monken.
Been some injuries to the slot back position, so not surprised to see this. They need all the athleticism on the field that they can. Interesting shift there.
Tyler after the shift. This is going to be an adventurous day spotting the Army quarterbacks and where they pop up.
It's funny, man. I enjoyed talking with Brent Davis earlier about all the different things that they like to do with the shifts, trades, and motions. That's certainly something that we haven't seen very much of. Going to be interesting to see how Air Force responded to that, because off of that package, you have to think, coming off the bye week, Army has a whole little bucket of tricks up its sleeve.
Second down and 5 after a 5-yard pickup. Quarterback draw, and Jones gets just outside the 20. Bo Richter makes the stop. Jones with big games against Louisiana Monroe and Colgate. This is just his 3rd career start.
Yeah, after only 9 carries in his first 5 games, these last 2 weeks, he's rushed for over 200 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Had a great game against ULM. 3 rushing touchdowns in that one as we're taking a look at a downed Falcon.
Kalawaya Pescaya, the junior out of Kailua, Hawaii, is down and will return after this.
Are made.
And welcome back to Arlington as we're rejoined as we saw Falcon defensive lineman Kalawaya Pescaya create some interesting angles with his lower body. A really good sign, though, Rich, that Pescaya is able to walk off underneath his own power. It's so hard to manage these injuries for both academies because depth just isn't as prevalent here as it is on other rosters.
Both had a bye week coming into this, so they've had 2 weeks to get healthy and get ready. And this is 3rd down and 2. Now remember, Army is a team that likes to go for 4th and short no matter where they are on the field. Jeff Monken is very aggressive if this ends up in a short 4th down. Quick to the line. And the big man, Jacoby Buchanan, has the first down. That's a 3-yard carry.
That's Bam Bam Buchanan. Boy, is he a big load of laundry, Rich. But when you're taking a look at this Army Black Knight offense, keep your eye on Brahim Murphy, number 8. We had mentioned the slot back injuries that they'd had. Tyrell Robinson, who had such an important role in this game last season, is not active today, and it's Murphy who gets the call to replace him.
Jamel Jones. Michael Mack comes up and makes the hit. And that's the strength of this Air Force defense, is that second level beyond.
And you have to be good tacklers back there, and that's why it's important to keep your eye on number 7, Trey Taylor. He led this team in tackles last year with 10 in this game. He was so aggressive in the box, they weren't able to account for him, and that extra body made the difference. And that's going to be important here this afternoon as well.
Anytime you stuff Air Force on first down, that's an accomplishment. They are one of the very best, top 3 in the country at first down rushes, averaging over 6 a carry. This time it's Tyson Riley, and he bangs out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Christopher Herrera made the stop for Air Force. Jeff Monken, what a job he has done. he inherited a program that had one winning season in 19 years and had lost to Navy 14 straight times. And man, has he turned it around. He's gone to 5 bowls. They're 4-1 in those bowls, and he's won 3 of the last 4 Commander-in-Chiefs.
And he's beaten Air Force 4 out of the last 5 times. To your point, after struggling, that first win they had in 2017 was a pivotal change of momentum for this program.
Buchanan's back in, and Jones turning and churning, and right at the stick, needed 3, and he's down at the 34-yard line. Alec Mock makes the stop. He's been out for almost a month.
Yeah,
Air
it was really
Force.
interesting to watch him warm up, a little tentative, had the compound fracture of his right thumb. So getting him back as the leading tackler when he went out is huge for this defense. Now this is interesting because last year Army also started with a 3-and-out. But to play against this sort of offense, you have to stay patient because they will bleed you by paper cut.
Those 3 yards, enough for the first down. Jones on play action. Lobs it up, and nobody there. It floats out of bounds. And it's 2nd down and 10. Jones is 6 of 15 for a touchdown, but the Army coaches say he can throw it better than his numbers show it.
To play good defense, Rich, you have to be disciplined with your eyes. There is nowhere for Jamel Jones to throw this football. That is outstanding coaching by Brian Noor, the Falcon defensive coordinator, and execution by this Falcons secondary that's done a pretty good job of keeping the throw game in check in 2022.
Tyre Tyler is back in, slotted on the left side, now in motion. Option left side, Jones chased down and dropped at the 38. It's a gain of 4. Ian Castaway, the cornerback for the Falcons, made the stop.
Yeah, Peyton Zadroit got some immediate penetration right in here, and there was a little bit of indecision, it almost seemed like, with Jamel Jones in that pool. You want to put pressure on the belly of the fullback to tell him to take it. It almost seemed like there was some indecision there, and that can happen when you get immediate penetration. That's going to be something key on both sides of the football all afternoon.
They've converted a couple of 3rd downs on the drive. This is 3rd and 8, though, and that one is broken up. Ballon, the intended receiver, and Camby Goff got there for Air Force.
What an incredible year Camby Goff has had. Nice job of Jones getting that football out quickly, but because of the tight coverage, look at the play on the football. Now, it could have been caught there, but because of the contact, Goff waves it off, and now it's Army that's kicking the football just shy of midfield.
That's Bill Belke, the punter for Army. Amari Terry is deep. Now, Air Force rarely returns kicks. They haven't returned a punt yet this year. All fair catches. There's a fair catch, and that's Terry standing at the 27-yard line. And that's where Air Force will start their 2nd drive. Scoreless start here in Arlington.
Primitive rocking on this quarterback counter. You have your backside tackle, Everett Smalley, getting a pancake, but he also does a great job throwing the football. Look at the way he holds the safety with his eyes to buy himself some time, immediately resets his feet, and drops this football in a super tight window. This was on the drive at the end of the Boise game to give them a chance to win, so you always have to respect number 4's arm.
2nd possession. Air Force at their own 27. Roberts straight ahead. He had just 68 yards on 18 carries last year in this game. And I say just because he's the leading rusher in the Mountain West Conference, and he's averaging close to 120 a game.
Yeah, 15-plus 100-yard rushing games. It all starts with the first part of this offense, which is the dive. But they run a lot of counter. They run a lot of trap, a lot of traditional run schemes as well.
Daniels, a long look at the sideline, and Air Force, he either didn't get the play he wanted or was having trouble getting a play in.
Well, we talked about crowd noise and those certain things. Maybe it's starting to show up all early. Troy Calhoun.
We go back to 2007. He had a game to remember against Army. 275 yards rushing, only player in America to lead his team in both rushing and receiving yards. He finished third in the nation in all-purpose yards that season. Of course, Troy Calhoun, longtime coach, 16th year. He also was an option quarterback playing for the guy he replaced, the great Fisher DeBerry. They've had just 2 coaches over the last 39 years. Out of the timeout, Daniels on the pitch. John Lee Eldridge can't get outside, and this Army defense is giving up nothing on the ground.
And the reason why is because the second-level defenders are taking away that outside alley. You have to do a good job of being able to tackle out here, and lo and behold, it's Quindraylon Hammonds doing an excellent job bringing up a 3rd and long. They've held this nation's leading rushing offense to 0 gains on their first 2 plays.
Another long 3rd down. Daniels flushed, dumps it, and it's incomplete. That's a 3 and out for a defense that is giving up well over 200 yards a game on the ground, the 6th worst mark in FBS.
Keep your eye right here. This is what pressure and penetration can do. This is against Isaac Cochran. The center slides over too much Thor Paglialong and forces Hazik Daniel to have to throw that football early. Penetration a problem here early for the Falcons. Ooh.
Carson Bay, it's blocked. There's a flag down, but that means the flag might be picked up. The referee, Timothy Hedgepeth, out of the ACC, said that the punt was deflected. That means you can make contact.
There is no foul for running into the kicker as the ball was kicked. First down, Army.
Great eyes, Rich.
Wow. Did you see it touched?
I did not. Let's take a closer look at this. No, that ball did not touch the defender who ran into the kicker Bay.
And Troy Calhoun right now, it is an ACC crew talking it over. It was, in actuality, a 45-yard punt, which is quite an effort for Bay. It was hit hard.
And Troy Calhoun is making his point that he strongly disagrees that that ball would blocked, which would be a penalty. And now they're going to smartly take a look at this. And Troy Calhoun, I believe, has a point.
Boy, it's hard to tell. I mean, look, the call on the field holds enormous weight. And we bring in Gene Steratore. We welcome him for the first time. Hi, Gene. What did you see?
Hey, guys, I on the first replay, I thought the same thing. And to me, it looks like the ball is not tipped. I didn't see any change in the movement of the ball right after it left the kicker's foot. And if that is the case, as we see, this is reviewable. So if this, I guess the next question would be if this is not touched. And I believe that it gets away clean unless there's a different look there where it looks like it may have hit the back of the ball. And I am sure they'll look at this from multiple angles. But if it is untouched, I think the decision then by the referee is this roughing or is this running into? We know that roughing's an automatic first down, but running into would only be 5 yards of replay.
First down, Army.
Well, the word that, Gene, you used was may, and, of course, it's not enough to overturn. When call stands, they didn't see enough to overturn it.
Yeah, I felt like Army gets a break there. Jackson Powell, the Army player in question that created this opportunity for him. And Rich, to your point, to even get this thing off and still get a 40-plus yard punt with that much penetration is something to tip your cap to.
The Academy games have a life of their own, as you noted. And both of these teams have prepped for this game for the last year. All summer, spring, into the fall. Even during the early parts of their season when they were playing other opponents. Jamel Jones. And Jones going to pick up 3 yards out to the 31-yard line. Armed Forces Football is proudly supported by The Exchange. The result of that, Aaron Taylor, oftentimes is the first half, everybody kind of knows what's coming. And then the second half, the offenses change and things open up.
That's certainly been the case. The familiarity between these defenses and the nature of the true triple option makes the early sledding pretty tough.
Jones slips through, caught from behind. T.D. Blackman made the stop and probably saved a large gain. And they're going to spot this thing at the 34-yard line. So third down and a long 3.
Yeah, this is a quarterback counter. Great job that time by Michael Mack getting in there first, and T.D. Blackman sliding along, Rich, but your eyes saw what mine did too. That's a play that they will come back to. It's got potential to be a big one.
Riley in the backfield. Call it third down and 4. And this is Riley straight ahead. He's short, but remember, Jeff Monken and Army like to go on 4th down and short. This is going to be 4th down and about a yard.
Possessions are such a premium. Decision-making in these circumstances is so good. But Brent Davis, the offensive coordinator, Rich, in our meetings yesterday said, hey, if it's 1 yard or less, we're going to go for it no matter what. And that appears to be the case here.
The big man, Jacoby Buchanan, is in. 6 feet, 280 pounds, number 33.
Buckle your jump. Some late confusion there for Air Force. They were lined up incorrectly.
4th and 1 here. This is Buchanan, and he's hit, and I don't think he has it. Air Force says no. The spot says no. And Air Force is going to get this football in Army territory. The metrics say go for it on 4th and 1.
And they believe in that, but football's not played in a metric book. It's played on the lines of scrimmage. And the Falcons' defensive front got the better of Army on that rep. The first big turnover, this one on downs of the ball game.
Neither team has been able to get any sort of foothold of momentum. Maybe this is the start for Air Force.
And this is the offensive line that this coaching staff told us that they were finally happy to have back. The 8th different starting unit so far this season. This is their best 5 that were out there in the first big moment of this game, and they came up short.
Christopher Herrera right in the middle of it. Now Air Force's offense.
And Army struggled on 4th down, and Air Force has struggled to get anything going early on in ball games. They were held scoreless in the first half a season ago.
Dane Kinnaman makes an appearance. Roberts straight ahead. And the push forward is going to pick up 4 yards. There's no secrets, absolutely no secrets. And both coaches told us, hey, we're going to try stuff we've never tried before just because the opponent's never seen it.
But there's only so many gaps and only so many places you can run the football. You can have an odd front, you can have an even front. You can bring a safety down or not. There's only so many things you can do. And as we just saw on that last 4th down stop, it's all about blocking and tackling and leverage at the end of the day. Some more confusion. They may want to think about taking another timeout here.
They burned one. Clock is down. And I think the sideline called a timeout. They did get the playoff.
Prior to the snap, charge timeout. Air Force, their 2nd of the half.
Goodness. 2 timeouts burned already by Air Force. Scoreless here. Final moments, first quarters in Tulsa King. A new original series from Taylor Sheridan, the co-creator of Yellowstone. Stream it November 13th exclusively on Paramount Plus. Head to ParamountPlus.com to try it for free. Air Force on the move, and Roberts busts loose. Finally, inside the 20, down to the 19. That's a 1st down.
John Lee Eldridge is the lead blocker. This is one of those traditional running plays. It's just an ISO play. Watch 24. Bang! It's his block that sets up the gas that allows Roberts to move the sticks.
15 yards on the carry inside the red zone to the 19.
And that ties the longest run that this game saw last year. That bodes well for Air Force.
Roberts again. He's much lighter than the fullbacks for Army. Roberts, 5'11", 215.
Yeah, but he doesn't run like it, Rich. He's, to your point, got more of a running back build, but his eyes are so good. He's a slippery runner. He finds those hidden yards, and if he gets hit at 2, you still pick up 4.
They try Roberts again, and this time maybe a yard, and this is going to set up a 3rd down, a sizable one, and about 7.
They ran a stunt on the end line of scrimmage. They were trying to run a G concept, but there was immediate penetration. And Paglialong was unable to get the run through in the backer, and those backers that play so tight to the line of scrimmage are doing so for that result right there. Maybe get out on the perimeter here if you're Air Force.
Daniels option, pitch, that's Hughes, and he's going nowhere. And Army, Jimmy Charlo coming up to make a play. That's a loss of 2.
As a defender, if you're the Force player, you got to keep your outside arm and leg free. Charlo's eyes are good. He feels like he's going to get reached, but he stays outside, maintains leverage, and defeats the block of Everett Smalley. That's a heck of a stop, given the turnover on downs for this Army defense.
Matthew DePore has had a great season, 10 of 11. His only miss was for beyond 50 yards. This is 35 to put points on the board, and he does just that. The defense stops Army. Air Force offense provides a 3-0 lead. Air Force a 3-0 starts. Final seconds, first quarter. CBS Wednesday Survivor is all new with shifting alliances and heated competitions. Anyone's game. Don't miss a new Survivor Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS. Aaron Taylor was a late scratch from the Survivor field this year. Maybe next season.
I feel like I'm in a Survivor show when there's no coffee. That was a problem, but we fought through and found a way to persevere this morning.
I'm not sure how far you're going to get then.
I'm getting soft in my old age, Rich. I'm getting soft.
DePore will kick off. Air Force had to burn those 2 timeouts.
Yeah, not what you want to do operationally, but a very good use of them. As it turns out, getting 3 points off that turnovers on down was huge for an offense that struggled to score early in these contests.
Maurice Bellon with a fair catch, and he holds on to it. Okay, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and it is a sweet-looking trophy, I might add. It was shared last year. This is the 51st time they've played for it. It's only been a tie, like last year, 5 times. Army 2020, Navy's got it 2019, Army in 17 and 18. Air Force hasn't had one despite having some really good teams since 2016.
Yeah, Munkins really had Calhoun and the Falcons' number, winning 4 out of the last 5 of these contests, and to your point, 3 of the last 4 CIC trophies. Their journey to get another one starts today as there's a false start by their left guard.
False start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
That's Jackson Filipowicz, the left guard. Got some sweet face paint, though.
Ball control always important for both of these football teams, and pretty much even there. A little advantage to Air Force.
Both these teams are really good with penalties, and you mentioned how good Army is on first down, but when you're behind the sticks, it's an uphill battle as they now go to tackle over the power on the right side of this offensive line.
Again, movement, and another flag, and another procedure.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's Joshua Lingenfelter, the tight end. He's one of the players that's asked to move in the tackle over or unbalanced look that Army likes to use so much, and we've seen both of these offenses struggle. Air Force couldn't get the play in time, and Army can't hold its water.
What does the tackle over do for the running game?
It puts bigger bodies on that side, so it creates some strength, but it also allows you to do some variations off of it that if you catch the defense slipping, you can hit some big plays.
A 4-receiver look on 1st and 20. Jones will keep it straight ahead. Out to the 24-yard line. A nice gain. T.D. Blackman there to make the stop. It's a gain of about 9 yards. They mark it right at the 24. That signals the end of the first quarter. Of course it does. You're watching the Lockheed Martin Commanders Classic presented by USAA. 3-0. This is a great sports complex here. That's AT&T Stadium. All around, you've got Globe Life Field, the new home of the Texas Rangers. The old ballpark in Arlington is still standing. They use that for some football. The second straight year they've had this game in this facility. Jamel Jones steps back. That's a tough yard to get. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long here for Army.
And that was Alec Mock in on the tackle. He's making his presence in return felt already. And true to form, this is just like we expected. Pretty tough sledding early on for these offenses that lose the significant part of their advantage because there is no uniqueness to your opponent across the ball from you.
Both offensive coordinators last year in the second half really opened up the playbook. I mean, they went to the very back of it to dial up offense, and it was fun to watch. Jones steps through, and he's hit and sacked. Peyton Zdroik, the sophomore. And Air Force has momentum. The defense setting the tone.
That defensive line did an excellent job. There's a Zdroik right there. When you're rushing the passer, Rich, you want to get penetration, but you have to retrace your steps, so he disengages. And with his teammate Herrera coming for the other side, Jones has nowhere to go, and Army punts again.
Belke, automatic fair catch from Terry at the 34. Air Force with the lead in the football when we get.
And I know that it represents the 2.1 million members of our armed forces and those who came before them. They're teams of volunteers who hold themselves and their teammates accountable because they know that they're stronger together. They demonstrate courage and commitment and drive and toughness. And they understand the mission and they practice for the mission and they are executing the mission boldly. So I think these are qualities that are very American, but they're certainly qualities of the Joint Force. And certainly those that we will honor next weekend for all our veterans.
Well, you sort of touched on it there. What does it say about the academies that these teams boast players that are able to play at a professional level, but they choose to serve?
Yeah, it's a really good point. There's some fantastic athletes out here on the field, and they could certainly perform at the next level and as a profession. But, you know, these scholar athletes, these leaders have chosen a different path, a different profession, a little higher calling. And so for them, I think it's about honor and duty and sacrifice, which is what the academies give to them, which is why the academies are so important. So every cadet, whether they're here in the field or at West Point or at Colorado Springs or the midshipmen in Annapolis for that matter, are going to give it their all for the United States, as they are with their soldiers, their sailors, their airmen, their marine, and their guardians. They are committed, they are lethal, and that's why we are going to win.
We are so thankful also. Thank you for the time, Admiral.
Thank you.
All right, Rich.
All right, thanks, Sherry. Yeah, it's a terrific scene here. Big crowd, half of them Air Force, half of them Army fans. Daniels gives to Roberts, and Roberts is into Army territory. Slamming across midfield. Broughton and Moore with the stop for Army, and Roberts is getting loose little by little.
Was getting loose because there's some great blocking up front, and that was just another lead play to the other side. And when you get a hat on a hat, Roberts hits the line of scrimmage so quickly, puts a lot of pressure on the defense because before they know it, 20's all up in their grill.
Army 47. Roberts. He gets to top end speed quicker than any fullback in the country. And that's not me saying it. That's Nate Woody, the defensive coordinator for Army, who told us that yesterday.
This is another lead play. This is the second time in a row they've run this same concept. Air Force is saying, hey, if you're going to run an odd defense, meaning leaving gaps over our two guards, we're going to line up a fullback there. We're going to block your backer, go old-style football, and it's working pretty well.
There he is, Nate Woody, the defensive coordinator. Daniels, big hit there. He was hit by Calvin Crummy.
And that's Air Force's version of the quarterback follow, another derivation of a lead, if you will. One thing that's interesting, Rich, Air Force is using Haaziq Daniels' legs here early. We've seen this team quite a bit this season. They don't like to run him, but it's undeniable. When they get four heated up, this offense completely opens up, and that's what we're watching here.
That carry enough for the first down. Air Force on the move. Army 35. Omar Fatah. That's 3 yards for Fatah. Second down and 7. And get ahead of the chains. Both offensive coordinators talked about the importance of that, and Air Force is starting to do it.
You have to stay ahead of the chains. You want 3+ yards per carry, and it's death by paper cut. Air Force is an extremely good team on fourth down. Army had led the country on fourth down 4 years in a row prior to this season. They've taken a step back, but this is about ball control, making sure your defense stays rested, and executing at a high level, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Zach Larrier is in. He gets the pitch. He likes to get outside, and man, was support there in a hurry. Austin Hill cleaned it up and made the tackle, but Army really bent that one back in.
Well, vision for a linebacker is important because it leads the feet. And the shortest distance between 2 points is a head start. And Air Force, every time they've tried to get to the perimeter, Army's been ready. That's good coaching and good execution by the second and third levels of that defense.
You see the drive. 1 of 4 on third down is Air Force today. This is 3rd and 7. Daniels flips it out. Larrier can't catch it, and it's incomplete. And a hit there by Bo Nicholas Paul, the corner.
Not a very good pass by Haaziq Daniels. This is a touch throw. There's too much air underneath it. And what that does is it allows the defense to close. You want to put that ball on him, on his hip, so that he can snap his head around and possibly make the defensive back miss. And if he can make Nicholas Paul miss, that's where he gets your big plays. Haaziq Daniels needs to do a better job of putting that ball on him. But the Falcons, for their second field goal attempt of the game.
49 yards. DePore has a big leg. He's hit 3 over 50 this year. Gets into that one and missed it. Army holds. And it stays 3-0. Just the second field goal that Matthew DePore has missed all season long.
New Survivor, Wednesday at 8/7 Central on CBS.
First half in Arlington, 3-0 Air Force on top. 35 days to go. The countdown to the Army-Navy game presented by USAA. Saturday, December 10th, of course, right here on CBS Sports. The Commander-in-Chief Trophy is here. It's in the house. Army retained it last year because everybody went 1-1. Air Force wins this game. Air Force gets the trophy. Army wins this game. They'll still have to beat Navy to win it outright. And there it is.
It's a lot that goes into that 2.5-foot-high, 170-pound trophy. It means the world.
That's a heavy piece.
Yes, it is. In more ways than one.
Now, can Army get their offense rolling? Tyson Riley ahead to the 35. That's a gain of 3. P.J. Ramsey made the stop. What do you see with this Army offense, particularly the offensive line?
Kind of what we saw last year, where it's hard for these guys to move the ball on each other early. The defensive units for both of these teams having some success at the line of scrimmage. But remember, for the Black Knights, Tyson Riley's been sick a little bit. Jacoby Bam Bam Buchanan has been banged up a little bit. Tyrell Robinson's not playing today. So what's plagued them all season has been injuries, and that's a factor here as well.
Jones will throw, fires it over the middle, and it's caught caught there. Isaiah Alston wrestles it down at the Air Force 41-yard line. 6'4", the sophomore.
Air Force has been playing at safety so close to the line of scrimmage that I'm not surprised that they went and did this. What a beautiful grab, plucking the ball out of the air by Alston, and he used all of those 6'4" inches to go up and get that football. And this is what we saw in the game. When either of these teams has some success throwing, that typically loosens up the safeties and you find running the football easier.
24 yards on the throw. Jones to the air again. Little dump, caught there. That's Marshall up the sideline, cuts back at the 15, down to the 10-yard line. Camby Goff with the stop. Ijon Marshall from Jamel Jones, 32 yards.
Rich, this is just an option play, but out in the perimeter. Jamel Jones can run it, but when Blackman comes off of him, it completely leaves alone the receiver, who picks up the second back-to-back play, and Ijon Marshall with a huge play, and it's the passing game once again that has the Black Knights on the move.
First and goal with the nose of the football right at the 10.
Air Force defensively one of the best red zone defenses in the country.
Marshall in motion. Jones, another sort of a quarterback draw. Peyton Zadroik makes the stop, but not before he picks up 4 yards.
This Falcon defense has only given up 8 touchdowns on 19 attempts. Most teams don't get inside the 20, and when they do, they're forced to kick field goals. With possessions being a premium, Army has to be thinking touchdown. And with as well as the pass game has been going, we haven't seen any of their fly sweep game, but play action down here could be effective.
From the Air Force 6. Jones again. Inside the 3. Thurgood and Taylor make the stop, and this is 3rd and goal.
Brent Davis, this offensive coordinator's got some decision making to do. What's your best play to get you 3 yards and punch this ball in? I like Jamel Jones on the perimeter with the two-way go. It's going to be really hard to push straight ahead to get Air Force. And again, that fly sweep game, the perimeter down here, has been effective for them throughout the season.
Jones already has 11 carries for 34 yards on 3rd and goal. Again, Jones in the end zone. Touchdown, Army. Just his 3rd career start.
Beautiful play call. Air Force slants its way to the field, and the patience by Jamel Jones is a different, Rich. That was the 2nd time in a row they ran the concept, and the 2nd time hit Pater.
Quinn Moretsky for the extra point, knocks it through. The offense is starting to get loose. Through the air, Jones to Alston, then Marshall. And Jamel Jones to the end zone, 7-3 Army.
'Twas a night at the Home Depot, at every location. A night when our stores see a grand transformation. We bring out the tools you really do need, like snowmen and string lights and plenty of trees. We work through the night preparing our splendor for Black Friday savings all through November. And what you do next is always fantastic, because we have the tools to make your holiday magic. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
(7-3) Army on top. In today's Do Project Smarter, presented by the Home Depot, we take a look at the story of Army, Air Force. Texas is such a great military state. There are bases for both all around Texas. And that last drive through the air, 55 of those 68 yards.
was amazing. 31 and 24-yard completions, and true to form, Army did this last year. The pass game opened up the run game and the offense in general. Be interesting to see if Air Force returns serve.
Talley with the booming kick. And they're bringing it out to the 25. CBS Sports embraces authentic stories. Share yours at #MyNativeStory. If you're just joining us, this is the Commanders Classic. And this was a terrific game last year, an overtime win by Army. Zeke Daniels' throw was batted down in the end zone, and that sealed the deal. And a tight start here. Brad Roberts, 45 yards on 10 carries already for Roberts.
Well, Rich, I've been impressed with Army's defense so far this early afternoon or morning, depending on what part of the country you're on. They're flying around and running to the football. They're maintaining leverage. They're playing disciplined, fundamental football. They're getting pass pressure. They're breaking down. They're not winning every single time, but they're winning in the critical ways to really stunt one of the offenses that they've struggled with to stop. Air Force has to throw this football to open some things up, and here they go.
Daniels, taking a page out of Army's playbook, will keep it himself. And Daniels out to the 38-yard line. Marquel Broughton made the stop for Army. That's a first down.
There was a trigger of a linebacker run through that opened this up, and a missed tackle there by Jimmy Charlo, who had a great play by maintaining leverage in the series before. And Air Force doesn't go to the pass, but they threatened with it, and to your point, ran a draw for a big gain.
We've seen teams dare Zeke Daniels to beat them on the ground this year, and it feels like Army's doing a bit of it, and Daniels is having success.
And now you're seeing the safeties a little bit deeper there for Air Force, maybe expecting pass.
He'll throw it. Good arm. On target. Cormier with the catch. Then he's got a first down. And about 8 Black Knights have to bring him down. And that is into Army territory. They mark it at the 45-yard line. Cormier is the go-to guy.
We talked about Zeke Daniels' arm. Rich, you had just mentioned it, and this is what he can do. He steps, and when he's on time and puts his foot on the ground, he throws the football accurately and on time.
Cormier is averaging an amazing 35 yards per catch this year. I know the average is going to go down with that one. Daniels almost took a knee, escapes, looks, fakes, now throws, and it's caught but out of bounds. Brandon Engel made a terrific catch, but he couldn't get a foot down. And it's an adventurous incompletion, and second down and 10.
Boy, you're talking about walking that fine line, Rich. You nailed it. Zeke Daniels almost goes down when he's booting out and reversing out, and I think the officials are going to take a look at this. But he stays up. Now, as you see him go, you're going to see an opportunity to throw the football back, but he elects not to very smartly. You never want to throw the football across your body there. That was a tremendous decision by Zeke Daniels.
And the knee did not hit the ground. That's what the review is right now. Not on the catch, but they wanted to see if Daniels' knee went down, which would have been a huge loss of yardage. The catch by Engel's pretty terrific.
Just great balance here. Now he can put his hand down on the ground. He doesn't really need to there, but he buys himself time. But the decision to not throw there is what's so impressive. And that was a good catch. Unfortunately, it was out of bounds. But when you have a quarterback that's making good decisions, you live to play another play.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Second down.
One of the things Troy Calhoun said about Daniels when they recruited him, he did run the spread, but he said he had point guard skills, and that translates to running a triple option. And look, Air Force it says triple option, but it really isn't. It's disguised as a pro-style running game.
There's been games I've broken down with them where they only had 8 out of their 60 offensive plays were actual true triple option. Going back to what you're saying about the point guard, the best part of a point guard's athleticism is his ability to start and stop, and that's really helpful running the option.
Roberts. Yardage isn't easy right now for Brad Roberts. That's 3 more. Broughton and Richardson make the stop. Armed Forces football proudly supported by USAA. Rich Waltz, Aaron Taylor, Sherry Burris. In Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Field, home of the Rangers and home of the Commanders Classic for the 2nd straight year. Just a great scene. They had the boxing matches between Army and Air Force last night. And a good one here on 3rd and 7. Daniels with time. Oh, it's intercepted. That's Broughton. Marquel Broughton with the pick. Back out to the 42. The leader of this defense, the senior, who was so huge in last year's overtime win.
Zeke Daniels, we just praised him for his decision making, throws the ball late, Broughton makes him pay, and Army ready to take advantage.
Hey, Adam, we had some tornado-type winds in Texas yesterday, but the roof is closed. The AC is on. We're quite comfortable. 7-3, Army on top of Air Force. College football playoff rankings. And, of course, this is a first of a doubleheader. We've got Tennessee at Georgia, 1 versus 3, coming up here on CBS.
Man, that is a gargantuan game. Hendon Hooker, Tennessee's quarterback, in the leader's chair for the Heisman, my opinion. Georgia, the defending national champion. This game is between the hedges. It's only the 3rd true road game for Tennessee this year. When they played at Pitt, they struggled a little bit. They played at LSU. The offense was muted a little bit. It's going to be a good contest to see what takes place tonight. And what an opportunity Army has here at the end of the 2nd quarter, because they start the 2nd half with the football as well.
Jones back to the air and finds Alston again, and he's across midfield. That's a 11-yard gain and another first down, and suddenly Jamel Jones is showing off his arm.
Yeah, Cade Ballard was the quarterback that they thought was the best thrower, but Jamel Jones is extremely effective. Against ULM, he threw the ball extremely well. He ran it extremely well, and it's clear that Army is going to throw to win this ball game today. And all this does, Rich, is it starts to loosen up Air Force, and they can get back to their bread and butter on the ground.
First and 10, Jones. It's been an effective play. Michael Mack made the stop. A day in the life. This is one of my favorite things. It's proudly supported by USAA. Marquel Broughton. This is just like you at Notre Dame, right? You were up at 6 a.m. You were in formation. I know you didn't miss breakfast. Look at that. Practice, dinner. And you finally get to sleep at 2,300 hours.
Yeah, I was probably getting back home at 6 o'clock in the morning. That was the difference between me and these guys. But what these guys put their hand up and commit to do blows me away.
Jones was hit. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7. Sherry's got more on a really extraordinary player. Sherry?
Indeed. I mean, Broughton, guys, was named a regimental commander, and he's in charge of 1,000 cadets. So this adds even more meetings to his already busy schedule. And he told us so far his biggest accomplishment is starting a Motivational Monday email. It's sent to the entire regiment. This week's quote: people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. He said there has been such a great response from the cadets. Other guys sending motivational emails. He's a vocal leader. He's showing that on the field too.
All right, thank you, Sherry. Big 3rd down here. 3rd down 7. Just past midfield. Army on the move. Jones steps up and overthrows everybody. Isaiah Alston out on that pattern. Cole Catterbone out there as well for Army.
This is interesting. 4th down situation. Army looks like they're thinking about it. Clearly they want to try to bleed the clock, but because it was an incomplete pass, the clock stops, and they're going to have to force the punt this ball away. And Rich, now is where those 2 timeouts that Air Force burned early in the first quarter come back into play.
Now just a minute 30 left. Amari Terry back. Line drive kick. Lands at the 10. Rolls inside the 5. Inside the 3. Brilliant kick by Bill Belke. Special teams for Army. And Air Force is backed up. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. Adam, Rick, BJ will preview the game coming up after ours. Tennessee, number 1, number 3, Georgia. They'll break down the first half, highlights from around the country as well.
So this is an interesting situation here at the end of the second quarter, Rich. We mentioned Air Force only has 1 timeout, but you know who has all 3 of theirs? Army. And that means that Air Force has to be really careful with the way that they execute this drive. Either get a first down and keep it moving, but you do not want to give this ball back to Army. With 3 timeouts, that's a high possibility if they don't execute here.
And you would think Army's going to use those timeouts to try to force a punt. That's Roberts. Crummy with the stop for Army, and there's the first of the 3 timeouts. Army on top, Air Force with the football deep in their own territory, and Army trying to get the football back. Hazik Daniels and Air Force missed a field goal in this first half. And as Aaron pointed out, just 1 timeout. A 2nd down and 6.
Either like Roberts up the middle or the quarterback counter has been effective when Air Force is needed to pick up yards.
This Air Force offensive line highly decorated. Finalist last year for the Joe Moore Award, which is awarded to the best offensive line in all of college football. Michigan won that award last year. They're on the midseason honor roll this year as well for that award. They're taking a look at the clock, the game clock. And they've reset it to 1:15, which is when the timeout was called.
These games have proven every second matters.
Daniels escapes, and he has the first down. Out to the 15.
Player down.
In the backfield, that is John Lee Eldridge. And he pops up, hustles off the field. He was down for a good 15 seconds. He goes back down on the sideline.
Yeah, we saw Piscaya go down defensively on the other side, but what a great play call and bit of running that time by Hazik Daniels. Not only gets the first down, but elects to stay in bounds smartly. Troy Calhoun all the way out on the field. He's got to be careful.
He wanted the ready for play. He wanted the clock started, and you can see they still have 15 on the play clock that they can bleed off. It's a safe choice with Roberts here. And though Army has those 2 timeouts, I don't think they're going to use it here.
These games have historically proven to be second half football games. So getting yourself into the locker rooms, coming up with some plans, what adjustments are you going to make on both sides of the football often determines what this looks like. And you take a look at it, Army has dominated the first half of these games in the last 6 years, but as we know, they play 4 quarters for a reason.
Why is that? I mean, is there 1 or 2 things? Well, they've done it again in this first half. Army gonna lead with a lead, 7-3. The end of the first half. For Sherry's halftime interview with Coach Monken, go to Twitter at CBS Sports.
what's been highlighted there, Rich. That's the ability to throw the football, and Air Force certainly has it.
All right, the crowd here is split right down the middle, Air Force and Army, and certainly that's the case of the Joint Forces Base Camp Arifjan in Kuwait. And it looks like they're tailgating just like many folks did outside of Globe Life Fields. Remember, Jeff Monken won the toss, deferred. He won it in the second half. And so Troy Calhoun's Falcons are going to have to kick it off here. And this is part of the whole celebration here this past week. Tanks, jets, great rivalry. Maurice Bellon. And Bellon is out to about the 23-yard line. Let's check in with Sherry Burris. Sherry?
Well, Rich, Coach Monken telling me in the first half he liked the way his offensive coordinator, Brent Davis, opened up the pass game. He said that he likes the way his team is going into this game and know it's going to be a battle to the end. As for Coach Calhoun, he said they need to get the ball across the line. When they have an opportunity to score, they need to do that. And similarly, you guys mentioned, we thought this would be a very run-heavy game. Coach Calhoun wanting to see bigger plays in the passing game come the second half.
All right, here we go, Sherry. Second half. Jamel Jones at quarterback. Now, Tyre Tyler is in motion. He's another quarterback. Jones is in trouble, and Blackman catches him. T.D. Blackman breaks loose back at the 19-yard line. That's a loss of 5.
The backside run-throughs by the linebackers are critical. Here's T.D. Blackman right there. Keep your eye on him. The ball triggers, and he goes backside before the tackle can block him down. That's great instincts and eyes leading to the tackle for loss.
Jones on the ground was a popular play call in the first half. 15 carries, 35 yards.
It's a great first start by this Air Force defense. And now, interesting, motioning out to trips.
2nd and 15. Jones on the ground again, and this time he's caught Jaden Thiergood, got a leg, and upended the Army quarterback.
This defensive line for Air Force in the first half did a nice job of disengaging. I like the play call. Here he is right here. That's the way you play defensive line. Shock and shed and disengage. And to your point, Rich, it was an ankle and shoelace tackle, but effective. This is a 3rd and long, and the longest so far this game for Army.
Shotgun Jones loads up, fires for the sideline. Alston battling there, and it's incomplete. Michael Mack the second on the coverage.
Michael Mack getting the start today. Nice job being in phase. One-on-one, no safety help. Doesn't see the ball, but times it perfectly. Watches Alston's eyes and hands start to reach up for the ball, and his instincts to put that hand up there and guard his face come through. Remember, no face guarding in college football. Great way to start the second half for the Falcons defensively.
Bill Belke to punt. Amari Terry is deep. And a low-line drive takes an Army bounce and still rolls. Terry, that's the first punt he's returned all season long. A 49-yard kick, and he salvages about a 7-yard return. Army first half lead. Air Force first second half possession. When we return, it's 7-3. In Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Fields, Air Force first possession. Second half trailing 7-3. Brad Roberts over the right side, and he earns all 7 of those yards. Leo Lowen makes the stop. First half possessions, Air Force.
Well, you take a look at what they've done, all those punts, a field goal, a missed field goal, and the interception was huge.
Little tempo here from Air Force, and Roberts has the first down. Now, Mike Thiessen is the offensive coordinator for Air Force. He's well known as one of the best adjustment coordinators at halftime, and he certainly did it last year in this game.
Yeah, all 14 of their points that Air Force scored in this game a season ago were in the second half. It was the defense that struggled early on, giving up 2 back-to-back touchdown drives. Very different story here this year defensively for the Falcons. And with the way these first 2 plays look for the guys in white, this offense may be looking to hunt.
Just outside the 45. Late replacement, Larrier in. Officials will give Army the opportunity to counter. That's the rule.
Charge timeout. Air Force.
And Air Force is going to get charged for a timeout on that.
Unacceptable. Can't do it.
They wasted 2 of those in the first half, and it cost them 7-3 Army.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... All right. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact. For safe, clear driving visibility, pick up a set of Trico wiper blades at your local Advance Auto Parts store.
Aw, I love to have one of my own someday.
Thanks. She's 9 months. Say hi.
Oh, I was talking about your USAA bumper sticker. I tried everything to get a membership.
Yeah. My dad served in the Marines. He passed membership down to me. I'll pass it to her.
Wow. That's a lucky kid. Who's he?
That's Grunk.
Oh, the I'm Special guy.
USAA. It's for the military community and their families.
Jeez.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception.
2 things I hate dropping: balls and calls.
Well, you need a better network. And Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30 a line.
Verizon for $30?
Yeah, it's their best unlimited price ever.
I'm switching now.
And getting the network you want for $30?
Touchdown! Touchdown! Everyone can get Verizon for just $30 a line. And now's the time to switch, because you'll get up to $960. Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
An event you don't want to miss. Who will be crowned the first ever PBR Team Series champion on CBS Sports Network?
Jimmy Smits in East New York. New Sunday on CBS.
Thursday, a new episode of TV's big hit comedy Ghosts. The show critics call laugh out loud funny, delightful, and genuinely hilarious. See why folks believe in ghosts. New this Thursday after Young Sheldon on CBS. Speaking of ghosts.
There you have Larrier at the top of the field, just some indecision. Eldridge runs off late and Larrier comes in. Miscommunication on personnel packages 3 times so far in this game have cost Air Force a timeout.
Roberts across midfield and across the 1,000-yard threshold on the season. He's 756 yards behind the all-time Air Force record, which is held by the late Dee Dowis, who was an incredible quarterback.
It's incredible company to keep, and now they've got him lined up on the slot. How about this look by the Falcons?
2nd down and 5.
Either a belly play or Hazik keeps it.
Daniels. 46-yard line. Marquel Broughton makes the stop.
So those are some of the adjustments, Rich, that we were talking about Mike Thiessen, the offensive coordinator, making. They went back to the lead play where they gassed, where Roberts had some success. And Roberts almost averaged 5 yards per carry in the first half. So they're finding ways to get him involved. They've struggled mightily on 3rd down, which is why this situation is so important, because they've only been 2 for 6 so far today.
3rd and 2 here. Roberts alone in the backfield. Thumbs up. Daniels looking for Cormier. Got it. Holds it. Spun around. Still on his feet. Inside the 20. David Cormier. Flag down late. Now, it was a huge pile. There were some offensive linemen that arrived on the scene late as well. And they'll sort this out. 27 yards. Daniels to Cormier.
The Falcons taking a page out of Army's book and bringing the cavalry there at the end.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 63. 15-yard penalty. It will be 1st and 10.
That's Everett Smalley. one of their most experienced tackles. It looks pretty clean to me. I disagree with that call. You want to cover down. It's hard to see on this when the whistle was blown. Sometimes if you're still trying to hunt and the whistle's been blown, that's the situation that you see that called in. But from what I'm watching here, I don't agree with that call. That's just good football trying to push the pile.
Roberts, it is 1st and 10 to the 31-yard line. Roberts picks up 3. Austin Hill the stop.
And I want to go back to that 3rd and short call midfield to take a shot play. Beautiful design and call by Mike Thiessen because it was one-on-one coverage. You know that the safeties are tight. You know they're thinking run the football, and if it falls incomplete, you still have a chance to go for it on 4th down. We lost all that with the penalty, but that's the brilliance of Mike Thiessen and the second half adjustments he likes to make.
2nd down 7. Blitz comes. Daniels has time. Fires. Overthrows his intended receiver. That's Brandon Engel. And now this is 3rd down and 7.
We've seen Haaziq Daniels drop some dimes, but he's throwing the football high and long today. Whether it's a drive throw like that or some of the touch throws we've seen out of the backfield, Ford's accuracy just hasn't been where it's needed to be.
Nate Woody, defensive coordinator.
And that's the challenge of making that on 2nd and long, because now you're in 3rd and long. Again, thinking 4-down territory. You want to get this to 4th and 2 if you don't pick up the 1st down.
Daniels scrambling. Has the 1st down. Cuts back at the 20. Hit at the 17. 1st down Air Force. Quindraylon Hammonds made the stop for Army. And a man down for Army. And that looks like Austin Hill. 14 yards on the scramble by Daniels. And a timeout on the field. 7-3 Army, football in mind as well. They wired it for camera angles for football, and the lighting that they put in here, there's one for baseball, there's one for football. Inside the red zone, Daniels, there's that counter again, and Daniels to the 10, to the end zone. Touchdown Air Force. 17 yards.
We talked about getting Haaziq Daniels' legs into the fray, and that quarterback counter is the play that they like the most. Going to pull the 2 backside guys. It puts a lot of pressure on the 2nd level of the defense because it's a counter play. There's misdirection, so your eyes have to be good. Before you know it, the linemen are up on top of you, and Daniels walks in for the 1st touchdown to end the longest drive of the day for the Falcons.
DePore for the extra point. Knocks it through. Air Force scored first, had a 3-0 lead. Army answered with a touchdown. And here in the 2nd half, the offense is loose for the Falcons. Haaziq Daniels, pay dirt, 10-7. Air Force 10, Army 7. Haaziq Daniels and the offense, 9 plays, 65 yards, 3:48 off the clock.
And what opened that up, Rich, is throwing the football. Even on a called draw when they were in man coverage, he took off running.
Oh, there's our guys. Joint Forces Camp Arifjan. And that includes Air Force and Army fans, which we've got plenty of in this area. It was hard to get a hotel room in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because of all the military stuff going on this weekend, including this event. Fair catch called for by Murphy. Now, this was fun last night, and we saw this last year. Boxing match between Air Force and Army.
It's competitive no matter what they do. This was off-site. I believe this match happened here in this building last season. But you see Army coming out victorious, and they'd certainly like to do that again here on the field today.
Army won 9-2.
We used to have something at Notre Dame called Bengal bouts. which was a boxing tournament that we had, and it was always fun watching your buddies get beat up.
Now this is Tyler on the carry. We saw Tyler early in the game at the slot with a snap here. Skill set with Jones very, very similar.
There's no question. He's an extremely effective runner. Average 5 yards per carry coming into today, has 6 rushing touchdowns. An interesting decision, but now both of these guys are on the field, and we might start to see some of those wrinkles that were put in during bye week. Tyler under center as it stands right now.
Second and 2. Tyler, Zadroit gets him, and he's going to be short of that first down. It's 3rd down and 1. He's a senior out of Newport News, Virginia. He's played the slot before, and of course he's been a quarterback there for a while. They were able to work him into the game plan for a couple reasons. Number one, he's very intelligent and he's played the slot. But number two, they had a bye week, so they had 2 weeks to do it.
And that's crucial. It ensures that all players know what their roles and responsibilities are. But these games are built around this situation right here, 3rd and short.
Buchanan in the backfield. And the big fella takes the ball. He's hit. Alex Mock hit him. It's right at the stick. I'm not sure he has it. This is going to bring up 4th down and less than a yard.
These linebackers for Air Force are triggering right away. I don't think he got it either. And remember, this Falcon defense in short yardage has been outstanding today.
One official said he didn't get it. They conferred, and now they've moved the chains. First down.
Awfully close, and in my opinion, worth a second look.
I think he wanted to get the snap off before they took a look at it. Maybe challenge the spot. Play clock's down as well. Jones to the air. Pressure. Caught. Trey Taylor on the sack. A huge loss for Army. 15 yards the other way.
Trey Taylor was the star of the show a season ago. Here he is right here, coming up and just beats the pass block of Tyson Riley, the running back, and those long arms. He's able to get his hands on Jamel Jones initially and drag him to the ground. A huge tackle for loss there on 1st down after they had just given up that 3rd and short.
Taylor had 10 tackles last year in the overtime loss. 2nd down 25, and Tyson Riley straight ahead.
That was a pretty conservative play call there by Army, right at the teeth of this Air Force defense after that huge loss. You wonder if this staff is thinking, man, maybe we got to be careful here and let our defense go hunt a little bit. And that's the benefit you have when you have tremendous success on 1st down defensively.
Army having trouble running the football. Remember, Army had the first possession, but Air Force's defense has really set the tone so far in this 3rd quarter. 3rd and 23. Clock is down. Jones. Oh, Alston had some separation and the ball just off his hand. Michael Mack on the coverage.
You like the decision because it's one-on-one on the outside. Once again, it's Michael Mack in the coverage, but in phase, and Alston pushes off right at the last moment. The ball hits him square in the right hand. We've seen so many receivers over the years on both levels reach out and bring those balls in, and you see the disappointment and frustration there by 11, knowing that that one got away.
Negative yardage on both possessions for Army to start this half. Terry, fair catch, and it's made at the 33. All right, let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Nice to have the Duck with us. Prior to Andre Carter II, who was the last Army football player to be named as an All-American? In your career at Notre Dame, did you play all 3 service academies?
Only Air Force and Navy, unfortunately. It would have been amazing and an honor to play against Army, but That just wasn't in the cards back there. But I got to be honest, man. Air Force and Navy, the academies, they make you earn your money. And it was always a well-fought, tough football game when we were on the field together.
Roberts to the edge. I'll bet you haven't played against too many 6'7" linebackers, which Carter is. And Carter certainly is a candidate to move on and play at the next level.
His 15-plus sacks last year really registered with a lot of NFL scouts. Look at that. He just tied his shoes. He probably didn't even need to bend down to be able to do that because he's so long and athletic. Second in the nation last season for an Army defense that was off the charts.
Roberts, another 3 yards, going to be a 3rd down and 2.
You just look at the body styles and the type of athleticism that usually is attracted to the armed services. Just don't see a lot of bodies that look like 34s there.
All right, last 3rd down and short. Mike Thiessen got creative and a big throw over the middle to David Cormier from Zeke Daniels.
And it's taken a while to get this play in here as well. They're finally signaling it, but the play clock's ticking. And now there's another player that's Fatah was just trying to run in and run off up there at the top. Indecision again.
And now Army maybe get caught with a man on the field. That's a 1st down. The flags fly. Air Force tried to get a guy on late. He turned around and got off the field, but then Army's defender started out on the field thinking he'd be allowed to make the substitution, but the Air Force guy didn't stay. So this is going to take a bit to sort out.
To your point, Rich, they're trying to sort out whether or not it was an actual substitution versus a player running in and running off. Defensively, Army smartly tried to bring a guy in.
That was Darius Richardson of Army. Now, look at the other question is this: well, wait.
Illegal substitution, defense. The penalty is declined. The play results in a 1st down.
Wow. Little cat and mouse there. Defenses will always substitute whether they want to or not, knowing that the play clock goes down, and Jeff Monken is livid because he and his staff saw Omar Fatah, number 44, the fullback for Air Force, run out to about the numbers and turn around. To your point, Rich, they thought that they were entitled to make a substitution, and they weren't. 12 men on the field when the ball was snapped.
That's a 1st down now. Daniels, play fake, looking. Cormier's open, deep, has the catch, holds on, deep in arm. Now it comes loose, incomplete. Cormier had it, went down, but when he rolled over, the ball had popped loose. Here's a look.
Great job by Quindraylon Hammonds to get his ball in there. Remember, Cormier has to maintain possession all the way through the catch. He does not there because 26 makes a play on the ball at the right moment with that right hand. And these safeties for Army have made some tremendous plays this afternoon, and that was a big one.
2nd down, 10.
Now you're behind the sticks. You like the play call, but what are you going to do?
Daniels again with his feet, dances outside, darts for the stick, has 12 yards, and a 1st down. Broughton and Lowen chased him out of bounds.
It's been really interesting. We talked about the importance of passing the football for both of these offenses. Well, a draw takes advantage of it. The defense is all dropping out of there. Great job by John Lee Eldridge, basically turning this into a quarterback lead draw and taking advantage of a defense that was expecting pass. We've seen Daniels do that multiple times here this afternoon.
And remember the opponents this year that have challenged Air Force and Daniels to run the ball and make sure that it's Daniels that's running the ball. That's going to be a flag.
Ball start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
Well, Air Force right now is happy to have Daniels run the football because that's been their most effective play at times today.
There's no question about that. And Air Force, the least penalized team in the nation, just puts themselves behind the sticks by an extra 5 yards, not making their play caller's job any easier.
Roberts right side, bounces outside to the 40. He's going to pick up 8 yards. Bring up a second down and about 7.
This is just great job of blocking on an old belly play. Again, no option here whatsoever. Just getting your head play side on the defense. And that's the brilliance of Brad Roberts. He's not the biggest, but he hits the hole so quickly, it makes it really hard for the defense to adjust. And before you know it, 8 yards later.
2nd and 7. Daniels, that's Terry with the catch at the 25. Another nice throw and another big gain for Air Force.
And this was really good that this ball went out on time because there was some backside pressure. Just a nice route and a beautifully thrown ball in phase. Not too much air underneath this to allow the defender to get there. And now the Falcons being effective through the air as well.
14 yards, 25-yard line of Army. Air Force has dominated this third quarter. Roberts, almost had a seam. It closed up nicely by Calvin Crummy, the sophomore out of Tuscaloosa, who prevented what could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, really nice job by Caleb Holcomb right there to be able to seal it and let Roberts sneak through, but he trips on the offensive lineman's feet and negates what could have been an even bigger gain. But these are basic traditional run plays. There's no option involved at all at what Air Force is doing right now.
Larrier in motion. Quarterback draw. Daniels down to the 12. First down. They move the chains again, and Air Force threatening with a 10-7 lead.
And they're doing it with the threat of the throw. Because Air Force has been able to throw the football effectively, Rich, the defense is bailing out. What you're reading as a defender is high hat or low hat. If you see a low hat, meaning a helmet firing off the ball, that's a run key. If you see offensive linemen pop up like Air Force did there, it's a pass key. But you can take and combine the best of both worlds when you run a draw, and Air Force has done it beautifully here in the second half.
Roberts bangs inside the 10, planted at the 9. It's a gain of 4.
Stopping the run has been something that's been a thorn in the side of this defense for the Black Knights all season. A year ago, they only gave up 117 yards a game on the ground, one of the best in the country. This year coming in, though, 212, almost 95 more rush yards per game year over year for this defense.
Longest drive of the game, 11th play, 2nd and 6. Roberts inside the 7, 2 yards there.
And Air Force can still pick up a first down. This isn't a 3rd and goal situation. This is 3rd and 4. They can still pick up the first down here. So if you're Mike Thiessen, you're absolutely thinking 4 down territory is a possibility as we wind down this third quarter.
Yeah, he's got about 3 minutes to think about this. This 3rd down and 4 call. What a dominant performance by Zeke Daniels and the Air Force offense and the Air Force defense in the third quarter. 10-7 the lead on the doorstep here. You're watching the Lockheed Martin Commanders Classic, presented by USA. CBS Sports has teamed up with Kellogg's Mission Tiger to help school sports make the greatest comeback, especially for kids in Philly this season. See how you can help at missiontiger.com. Into the 4th, 10-7, Air Force on top, and Aaron Taylor, maybe the biggest snap of the football game, is coming up. I'm not sure you really want Bama, but yeah, maybe a few players would be good.
Send us players. We want Bama's players. I think everybody in the country does, Rich, but you're absolutely right. 3rd down is the most important down in football. The red zone's the most critical area. This play we have coming up has them both. If you're Army, you hold them to a field goal, it's a 1-score game. You let them get a touchdown at the end of this drive, it becomes a 2-score game. And with limited possessions, it's a very tough road. Needless to say, you can't overstate how important these next plays are for Army defensively.
And it might be 4-down territory for Air Force, especially if they pick up a yard or two here. A lot going on 3rd and 4 from the Army 7. Daniels will keep it. Daniels stopped. Has the first down. Didn't get in the end zone, but now it is 1st and goal on a 6-yard carry by Haaziq Daniels.
Quarterback lead draw. They're taking a page right out of Army's books. We talked about how similar these offenses are. The Black Knights defense responds, but not after giving up the first down. Brilliant play call and execution by Thiessen, and you take a look at how good the Falcons are in goal-to-go situations. Perfect so far this year.
Roberts flags down. The play never got off the ground.
False start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
That's a killer. It's on their tackle, Adam Karras. Again, Air Force, the least penalized team in the country, has had 2 false starts, but one maybe no more important than this one. It takes a hard job and makes it even harder here at the 6-yard line.
Still 1st and goal, but now from the 6. Flags down. Procedure.
False start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Again. Remember, Sherry Burris at the outset of the telecast talked about the adjustments of playing in this environment. And Air Force this year went indoors to their indoor facility this week and practiced with noise because, man, is it loud in here with the echo and the roof closed. But it hasn't helped in those last 2 penalties.
We talked about this difference of the score being a 1-score game or a 2-score game with the Commander-in-Chief's trophy on the line.
Down goes Daniels. Carter came through and got him.
And he got him by extending his leg and tripping him, kicking out his feet from underneath him, coming off the outside edge. That's that athleticism. Brad Roberts, as good as a runner as he is, struggles in pass protection at times. And the guy that had 15.5 sacks last season came up with another one huge there. And now it's this Air Force offense that's marching the wrong way. And credit Army defensively. They've maintained their poise when Troy Calhoun's team has not.
Gene Steratore feels that should have been a penalty on a trip. Daniels is caught by Carter. And so from 1st and goal to the 1 now. And this is going to back it up to 3rd and goal from the 16. It was clearly a trip on Daniels by Carter, but no flag was thrown.
And Daniels is looking a little bit hobbled as a result of that, Rich.
Roberts straight ahead. And exactly what you pointed out. Army with a big win here in limiting Air Force to a field goal attempt.
Well, if I've seen it once, I've seen it 100 times. More games are lost than won. And I don't know what the result's going to be here today, but if Air Force ends up losing this game, they can point to that series of downs we just saw right there.
Yeah, the 2 procedure calls and then the sack of Daniels. Tapor is 1 of 2 today, and he knocks that one through. Air Force has to settle for 3. Army is still within a score. Daniels in consultation. He goes into the injury tent. Ben Britton has been warming up, the backup quarterback for Air Force. During the break, we had a chance to talk to Gene Steratore about this play. Andre Carter against Daniels. That's a flat-out trip, and that should have been a penalty. And the official, looking right at it, didn't throw the flag.
And it's good news to see Daniels back out. That should have been tripping, 10-yard foul and an automatic first down. And Army was probably right with the substitution. If a player makes it out to the numbers and heads back in, the defense should indeed have an opportunity to substitute. These games are too important with too tight of margins to be making costly mistakes of any kind.
Fair catch on the kickoff. All right, let's bring the duck back while we have a chance.
Aflac.
Thank you. Prior to Andre Carter, was the last Army football player to be named All-American. Mike Mayweather back in 1990.
It's going back to my era. Way back. They certainly would like some Mike Mayweather performance here out of their offense. That was an incredible stop by the Black Knights. This is a one-score game. Army takes the lead with a touchdown here.
Jamel Jones most of the way at quarterback. Kind of falls over. Marshall on the outside. Now, we talked earlier about Mike Thiesa, the offensive coordinator for Air Force, opening the playbook. You can see Brent Davis right now. He's got to find the right formula, and he's running out of time to do it.
No question about that. That's the first time we've seen the fly sweep for Army be busted out in this game, and Air Force was ready for it. That run concept has been pretty fruitful for this offense, but the Falcons weren't fooled.
Second down and 12. Jones is 3 of 8 through the air for 65 yards. Isaiah Alston has been his favorite target, has 2 of the 3 catches. Jacoby Buchanan straight ahead. And this is always a challenging down. 3rd down and about 8.
Bam Buchanan could probably play left guard if they needed him to, but to your point, 3rd and the upper end of medium to long here, you have to account for the legs of the quarterback. Both of these offenses, and particularly Army, has done really well with quarterback lead, draw, or follow.
3rd down 7. Jones, nothing going there. Bo Richter met him on the edge, and Michael Mack cleaned it up.
Bo Richter's been a utility player for this Air Force Falcon defense. We saw Army do this earlier, but he maintains leverage and fights across and is able to make his way through until the Air Force cavalry could come down, and Michael Mack, the force player at cornerback, got in on it as well. That is really good gap discipline, and Army is punting the ball away as a result.
Belke line drive, and a good one. And
saved some yardage there.
Amari Terry with an athletic move for the fair catch. Air Force the lead in the 4th. They get the football on CBS Sports. Is sponsored by Lockheed Martin, by Verizon, and by USAA. Commander-in-Chief Trophy winners. Last year, Army retained it and was shared. Everybody tied. 1 win, 1 loss. That rarely happens. For only the 5th time in 50 years it happened last year. Troy Calhoun and Air Force wins this game. They win the trophy outright.
I was talking to Steve Labotsky, the offensive line coach for Air Force, before the game. He's like, I know we got Tennessee and Georgia coming up, and people are interested in that, but that's just a league game. This is the Commander-in-Chief's trophy game. This is our Super Bowl. And it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but Rich, we know how important this series is.
Daniels back in, flag down, going to be a hold, strong throw, and it's incomplete. Cormier, the intended receiver.
Holding. Offense 59, number 59. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's been a rough game for Adam Karras. A couple critical penalties in the red zone. Play action. He just got beat inside again by Andre Carter. This time tackles him and takes him to the ground. You'd like to let your quarterback, even though he's been hobbled up, try to run away from 34. Daniels is pretty elusive. But another costly penalty for the team coming into today's game that was the best in the country. at not making mistakes.
Again, Carter, 6'7", 265, and a linebacker. Roberts, head over heels. Broughton came up and hit him.
Man, watching tape for this game, 20. He's about 185 pounds soaking wet, but just chopping trees out there. The coaches talked about the fact that he brings juice to this defense, and when you watch tape like that of 20 coming downhill from that second level, it fires everybody up.
Roberts over 100 yards. On second down at 14. Daniels throw. Cormier has it. Midfield. Tumbles into Army territory. Hammonds on the coverage. David Cormier.
An Army player down on the field. Here's Cormier with man coverage over the top. He's got Hammonds over the top of him, but he gets up on top of his toes. That makes it really hard for the defender to know what's coming and what direction he's going to go, and that was a big pickup. Unfortunately, Markel Broughton, the lifeblood of this defense, is being...
There's both Army and Air Force on a knee right now. Here's a look at the play.
We just complimented Broughton on how willing he is to throw his body around. Here he is coming from the right side there, number 20. Looks like a simultaneous head and shoulder, but it's when he flops there and kind of goes limp that you get a little bit concerned. I want to be clear that this was in no way a dirty attempt by Broughton, but he's back up on his feet now and walking off on his own volition. But a scary moment indeed.
He's the unquestioned leader, not just of this defense, but of this football team.
And that makes it challenging because any score here by Air Force turns this into a 2-score game with only 9 minutes left. With these style of offenses, it becomes much more challenging to do. And Broughton's the type of guy that could force this offense to punt the ball away.
Remember, Broughton had the interception in the first half. Max DiDomenico, a sophomore, who's going to replace him.
And DiDomenico, if you remember, missed the first half of this game because of a targeting call in the Louisiana Monroe game. So sometimes when it rains, it pours, but I think it worked out from a backup situation for this Army defense, but it's never easy and never good when you lose a warrior like Marquel Broughton.
There's DiDomenico, 1st and 10. Zeke Daniels has been really good on the ground. Roberts is over 100 yards, and Daniels is approaching 100 yards.
This is just the quarterback counter once again, but keep your eye on the backside tackle and look at this block. It's just down blocks on the play side, double teams, but he comes up through and whack. Welcome to college football in the CIC trophy, Domenico.
5 yards on the carry. Daniels now 14 carries, 95 yards. And a pretty even split.
And you see Air Force taking its time on the play clock, bleeding things down.
Roberts. And Roberts to the 25. Get nonstop sports news, expert picks, the biggest highlights on CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 Sports News Network. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. Army doesn't need just a stop. They need a stop beyond field goal range because a field goal stretches this to 2 scores. Omar Fatah in the game. Daniels rolling right, fakes the throw, and he's caught and hit and dropped. Leo Lowen, leading tackler on this team.
Excellent job by Andre Carter there. That time they had fullback Omar Fatah in the game, and Carter just blew right past him. Daniels was mobile enough to escape the rush, And this defense for Army comes up huge and forces the punt here. Any score would have made this a 2-score game, but Army stayed alive with that tremendous third down play due to Carter's pressure.
This would have been about a 54-yard attempt. DePore is hit from 54, but Air Force not wanting to take a chance, and a not so great punt from Carson Bay. He tried to drop it inside the 20 and shanked it out of bounds. 22 yards on the punt. Army hanging in there. Air Force, great second half, but it's just a 1-score game in the 4th.
Height, man, the job that he's done with Tennessee. This school's a couple years removed from being 3-7, 3-9. Just been a tough road to hoe. They'll have their hands full with Georgia.
This is Jones. Remember what Troy Calhoun told Sherry coming out at the half. We have to get it across the line. When we get the opportunity, we got to do that. They had 1st and goal at the 1, and they failed.
Back-to-back penalties. They marched the wrong way and were forced to kick the field goal, making this 13-7. This is Army's ball game right now. They are in possession of the football with 3 timeouts at the end of the 4th quarter, down by 6.
Jamel Jones, the 2nd down. Tyson Riley straight ahead. That's 2 yards, and this is looking like 3rd down and 5. Last 3 possessions for Army. -4, -2, and 1. Aaron Taylor, I mean, this feels like 4-down territory.
No question. Which is why if you're the play caller for Army and Brent Davis, you're not thinking that you got to get all 5 here. You're okay getting to yourself to 4th and 1. That's ideal, what they would like to get, but a 1st down would be even better.
Confusion. And procedure.
Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
That's Shane Buckingham. This entire offense was confused. Buckingham may have been penalized there, but there was some confusion in a critical 3rd and medium situation. Army didn't know what to do. These are 2 of the most disciplined units in the country, and both of them have shot themselves in the foot here in the 2nd half with unnecessary penalties.
Isaiah Alston, the go-to receiver, bottom of your screen.
Left tackle was early.
And another flag.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
I thought it was the left tackle, Jordan Law.
Foul was on number 8.
And that'd be Brahim Murphy. I saw this. It doesn't matter if it's on 77 or 8 or 88. That's a penalty that Army couldn't afford.
Law was a hero last year. Remember, he recovered the fumble in the end zone for the touchdown in overtime.
Great point.
Jones steps up, fires, middle, and it is incomplete. Marshall Goodwin, Jalen Goodwin on the coverage. And this is 4th and 15, and Army's going to have to punt.
Wow.
Goodwin gets the arm in there and pries it loose.
The timing was so beautiful there by Goodwin, but that ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, which allowed Goodwin to recover. And unbelievably, Army's punting this away. They may not get this ball back, Rich. Their defense has some work cut out for it.
4 minutes and 5 seconds left. Air Force football tonight, 7 Eastern. CBS Sports Network headed to the Mountain West. UNLV San Diego State in that beautiful new stadium in San Diego. 7 Eastern tonight.
Zeke Daniels just been a warrior today, left the game after a leg whip. We promised you folks at the top of the show that this was going to be a close one. And that's exactly what we've got here late in the fourth quarter.
And remember how hard it was for Air Force to walk out of here last year with the loss. They had a great fourth quarter offensively. They got to overtime. Daniels was terrific, but it wasn't enough. Roberts knifing his way through, still churning. DiDomenico hits him, but he gets to the 44. That's a gain of 5. Let's check in with Sherry Burris. Sherry.
Well, guys, Marquel Broughton is still in the medical tent. I can hear him being very emotional. He has at least come out. He looked to be fine after that very scary moment. But I cannot stress to you guys enough how emotional he is right now that he is not in this game.
Sherry, I think you would agree, Aaron, you would agree. Of all the college football players we've met this year, that's the most impressive guy.
There's no question about that. And just what he's asked to do, not only for this team, but in West Point in general, that's a huge loss for a true warrior.
Roberts going to be short of the first down. This is 3rd down now and 1. And there is Broughton, who has emerged from the injury tent.
Coaches raved about him, talking about how much they rely on him, and sometimes almost too much, because he knows what everybody's supposed to do. And there's nothing worse, Rich, than being a player in a big game in a big moment and feeling helpless on the sideline.
Saw Jeff Monken. I'm sure he's thinking about, when do I use these timeouts? 3rd and 1 here.
This is a precarious situation. You need to get a good stop on first down to start thinking about your timeouts. They got to get it here.
Roberts, second effort. He's got the first down at midfield. Clock stops briefly. They'll move the sticks.
You want to think about taking a timeout here to try to preserve some time. This was just good surge off that left side, and we talked about Roberts' ability to get hit and continue to push the pile. Army electing to be conservative and not pull a timeout on a fresh set of downs. Maybe waiting to see what the result of this next play is. It is still only a 1-score game, but a little bit of a dice roll here by the Black Knights.
Roberts, he's lost only 1 fumble in his entire Air Force career. The senior slams forward for 5 more yards, and there's the first timeout for Army. Air Force trying to move.
And rushing the football with 89 yards and a touchdown there. It's an incredible job under center today for number 4, who's been banged up in back-to-back weeks.
Roberts again, that's his 31st carry. He's at 138 yards, and Army burns timeout number 2.
Yeah, this next play is going to be the most important. If Air Force can get this, it's ball game.
Back to Arlington after this in 30.
We're turning up the tailgate with a Twisted Tea drop. We're surprising real Twisted Tea fans who love the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
The new season is on. Familiar faces and new names are ready to go low.
Can you believe that? That is the look of a winner.
In big tournaments, on great courses, where anything can happen. Don't miss a week of the race for the FedEx Cup.
Tell them I'm ready for anything.
You see the emotion still with Marquel Broughton out right now, their defensive leader. They need a defensive stop here because Air Force with a 3rd down and 3, and Army has just 1 timeout left.
Air Force's Typically excellent on third down, not as proficient today, but have been much better here in the second half. This is 4-down territory for this Air Force team. If Air Force gets a first down, this ball game's over. They come up short, Army's going to take their next time out and hope to get the ball back with time. But if you're Air Force, you got to be thinking hit the gas pedal.
Roberts behind Daniels on 3rd and 3. A pitch. Roberts is hit and stopped, and it's DiDomenico who came in for Broughton, who makes the big play. And with the loss of yardage, this looks like a punt here. 3 yards, the loss, Max DiDomenico.
DiDomenico's coming down and creeping towards the line of scrimmage and just runs underneath the block. Air Force has really struggled to get the football out on the perimeter. I don't like this play call by the Falcons because Army was ready for it. Use Hazik Daniels, use Brad Roberts in between the tackles, but that's the stop that this Army defense needed. Max DiDomenico, who missed the first half, who's filling some pretty big shoes for Marquel Broughton, showed up huge, keeping this Black Knight team alive.
Punt team on, Carson Bay for Air Force.
God, that was money, Rich. Those are the plays that for 30, 40 years you lay in bed and remember. Is it going to be enough? That's the stop they needed. Can their offense do their part?
Cameron Jones is deep. Bay's punt is a low one. Jones runs up, makes the catch to the 20. Makes a tackler miss, gets to the 24. Last 4 meetings down to the wire. 2018, 4th down. Army converts. On the doorstep, Air Force holds. Late game drive, Army sticks it in, and this, the last play, last year in overtime, Jabari Moore knocks it loose. Army a winner last year. No timeouts. And we'll see what their 2-minute drill looks like. Jones on the carry. Jones gets across the 30, but the clock's going to continue to roll. Blackman with the stop. 1:30 left.
Great first down. That first play in a 2-minute drive is always the most important.
Jones loading up, fires to the sideline, and it's broken up. Incomplete. Trey Taylor. Brahim Murphy, the intended receiver.
The coverage on the back end for both of these secondaries has been pretty outstanding for most of the day. A lot of contact there by Trey Taylor. Brahim Murphy wanted a flag and might have had a point there.
3rd down 3.
I like the decision to throw the football towards the sidelines with no timeout. The clock is not your friend.
Remember, Alston is the go-to receiver. Jones has time, fires it out, caught there. That's Riley, and he's hit, stays in bounds, and he's short of the first down. It's 4th down and 1.
He should have tried to get out of bounds there. It looked like he stutter-stepped and wanted to go inside. Huge mistake there.
Got to make sure they have the right play. 4th and 1. And Riley jumps over the 35, got the first down. Clock stops on the first down. They move the chains.
That was a huge play. If you're Air Force, you have to stay patient. And if you're in their secondary, keep your eyes focused. And now Air Force, again, with some personnel issues, forced to take a timeout, giving a gift to this Army offense.
This was a tricky spot because you want to make sure you have the right play, but you can't take much time. And Riley up and over for the first down.
He's had some health issues this year with his ankles, rib, been sick this week with fever, didn't even practice yesterday, but moved the sticks in a must-have situation. God, I love these games, Rich.
Academy games, especially when the Commander-in-Chief trophy is on the line, take on a life of their own. None of the tendencies, none of the trends hold at all.
And you have to maintain your poise and composure. Being at your best when your best is needed is what these men have been trained for all 4 years that they've been at their respective academies.
1st and 10. No timeouts. Jones fires. Knocked down. Alec Mock, who had a compound fracture of his thumb about a month ago.
Good job of getting some depth and some width, and uses his one good hand to come up with a significant pass breakup on 1st down.
2nd and 10. 48 seconds left.
Army's offense at some point has to take a shot downfield and connect. With only 48 seconds and no timeouts, they need a touchdown to tie this thing up. They can't do it dinking and dunking.
Jones is going to keep it. He's short of the 1st down, and again, the clock's going to roll. They got to hustle to the line of scrimmage. Being a 3rd down and about 2. And precious time is evaporating.
Take a shot.
Jones again, looking, firing, incomplete. 4th down and 2. 25 seconds left.
You're almost happy there because you're rushing so much. This gives you a chance to kind of calm yourself down. The clock stops. There's no question that with only 25 seconds and no timeouts, and you've got to travel 56 yards, this isn't an easy task. But first things first, and that's getting a 1st down here. Keep an eye there. That play came in awfully late. They're not even set up, and we're at 5.
Riley in the backfield. They get it off in time. 4th and 2. Jones fires, sideline. It's intercepted! Camby Goff and Air Force. No flags. Air Force is going to win this game and the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
They rush 4 here. Jones puts too much air underneath this ball, telegraphs where he's going to throw it, and Camby Goff's 3rd interception of the season is probably the biggest of his life.
Didn't look like they were looking for just 2 yards, obviously, with that play call. They wanted a chunk play on 4th and 2.
It's a little bit of a dice roll. You're hoping that Air Force is expecting run there, and they weren't.
Air Force takes a knee. Army can't stop it. The celebration begins for the first time since 2016. Air Force, winners of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. They beat Navy, and today in Texas, they take down Army. Camby Goff still has the football. His 3rd interception of the season. Jeff Monken waiting for Troy Calhoun at midfield. It's the 21st time overall in 51 years that Air Force has won the trophy. That's more than Army. That's more than Navy.
They have dominated historically, but as of late, this has been a hurdle they just simply haven't been able to get over. But that was not the case here today.
2 goals here. Win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Check. Earn the right to sing second, because the alma mater's now the great tradition, and Army will sing first.
And we're celebrating Air Force here, but hats off to the Army Black Knights. Rich, you and I and the rest of the United States are so lucky that these men that played this game with such heart, with such valor, with such resilience, do so in a way that when they leave here and go professional in something much more important than playing football, we as a country are lucky to have them.
Well, Army still has Navy in their sights. Of course, that's on CBS. Coming up in December in Philadelphia on December 10th. It is one of our favorite weeks of the year when we get immersed in Army, Air Force. We had a chance to call Air Force Navy. Just the exceptional character, the stories of these players. Remember how hard it was for Air Force last year. At the end of overtime, they lost that game. They had that trophy in their grasp had they won it. And this year, they're taking that back to Colorado Springs.
Rich, we started today's broadcast talking about the fact that this game and these men, these coaches represent everything that remains good and pure